that rectangles and squares only have 90-degree angles. They are made up of all right angles. So there's one less variable we have to work with there. So let's take a look at if I asked you to make a square. So let's say that our goal is to make a square with a side length of 2 inches. Okay, so that's our goal. So what we need to do is start with our ruler, and your protractors have a ruler at the bottom of it, so you can double up and use that. But I don't, so I'm just going to go ahead and use my ruler here. And start off with a line, a straight line that goes 2 inches. So first of all, you have to be cognizant of what unit you're using. We're using inches, so that's this bottom one on my ruler. On this ruler, the top 1 centimeters. And it might be different with every instrument that you use. Just make sure that you're in the right unit. And then to get from 2 inches, I need to start at 0 and go all the way to 2. And then I have a length of 2 inches. And I feel like that should be review. Should not be that hard. Okay, so the part that's actually a little bit tricky is making sure that you have perfectly straight right angles. Because you must have right angles to have squares and rectangles and things like that. So after you make your first line, you're going to want to put your protractor on that line. So again, lining up the vertex with the line. And then you're going to want to mark where 90 degrees is. Do not eyeball it because we are not perfect when we do this. Okay? So 90 degrees, over here I use the top number because I use that 0 because that's the 0 my line's on. I follow it all the way to 90 degrees and I put my dot. And then I can remove my protractor. And there's 2 different ways you can do this. You can just go ahead and make a straight line, however long you want it, and then erase it up to 2 inches. Or you can go ahead and take your ruler, and you're going to want to rotate your ruler so that your ruler lines up so that it's exactly 90 degrees, and it should line up between the dot and the edge of your line. So I still need to rotate mine a little bit. No, this way. Okay. So make sure it's at 90 degrees, and then you line it up, and you're going to want to have your I'm going to put 2 inches right here at the edge of my line, and I'm going to go ahead and let's see, a smarter way to do this. I'm trying to think how to be smarter, right? Is to make sure that my dot lines up. What I can do is make sure that the ruler touches both the dot and the line. And in this case, since I want my side to be 2 inches, I can go ahead and make my line from 3 inches to 1 inch, because that would be a total of 2 inches. Or like I said, one thing you can always do is you can always just go ahead and make this whole line, and then take your ruler and measure out 2 inches and erase what you don't need. But either way, there I have 2 inches. And unfortunately, you're going to have to repeat this process at least one more time. So we're going to take our protractor and again find where 90 degrees is so that we can have a perfect rectangle. So this time I'm putting it on this edge of the line that I originally drew out, so that I'm using the bottom numbers, and I follow the bottom numbers around to 90 degrees and put it out there. And then I can remove my protractor and go back to using my ruler here. Oops, lost it. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that my dot lines up with the edge of my line. So, there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and draw a line. And this time I'll do the erasing. Oops. Now see how that line didn't exactly touch? It's not good enough. It has to be exact. There we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a really tall line. And then what I'll show you is then what I would do with my ruler is find 2 inches, find out how far that is. Right up there. Oops. There we go. And then use an eraser to erase the part that you don't want. I'm not really seeing that it's letting me erase. That is what you would do. So I'm gonna do some magic here. Okay, so mine actually might not be perfect because I was not able to show you what I wanted to do, but should be pretty close. And then once you have your 3 sides, your 4th side will line up. If you want to be exact, you can go ahead and use your protractor and whatnot. I'm gonna assume that I was pretty accurate, and so then when I go ahead and do my last line, it should line up just fine. But I am going to use my ruler to make sure that it is still, should be about 2 inches, which it is, which is great. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect what I have, and I should have a square, and all of the side lengths are 2 inches.